Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our session on Python programming. We're discussing a very important concept that is functions in Python. In the last session, we had introduction to concept of function, and I had given you some assignments. I see Ashish submitting it. How about others? Rituraj, Viraj, have you solved those assignments?
Sir, 1 minute.
Share whatever you have solved. How about Rituraj? Rituraj, have you solved the assignments? Rituraj, have you solved the assignments? Yes, no. No, that's not good. Those two, have you solved the assignments?
Sir, only one, sir. First.
Share code.
Yes.
Rituraj, what's the reason? Why didn't you solve the assignments?
Just forgot.
No, that cannot be an excuse. Yeah. How can somebody forget? It's there on the group. Everything is there. Problem statements are put across. That's a lame excuse. Let's look at some of the digits, the assignment that Ashish has solved first, and then we will also open it and we'll run that particular code. Let's have a look at it. So he writes a function called as take input. Ashish, not a very good name. This particular function is supposed to return an integer. So you could very well say get integer. Just take input. What is input? Name, address, phone number, what it is. So it could be a generalized function because remember, we are going to work in a scenario where we would like to reuse the functions, correct? So in every program, inputs can be different. But if I say get integer, so it will be very clear that, okay, I need an integer. So anytime we require integer, we could call that particular function. So we are asking the positive integer, we strip it, we check whether it's digit. If it is not, we enter, say, only input, and you're calling take input function all over again. That makes it a recursive code. And that is something which is just not recommended, a recursive function. We actually were expecting a non-recursive code for this. So let me, because this becomes recursive. So next time when I give a call to it, it will come over here. And where will it return? Okay, which statement will get returned? It will return the previous num and which num. So there will be a confusion as to which num will get returned. Because the num that has been assigned over here, latest one, whether that is returned or the previous copy of the num is being returned. So till the time we do not look into recursion, this would not be a very good choice of accepting the number. Let me see what is the other submission that has been done. Who has done it? Ashish ke alawa. Viraj, this is some of the digits nobody else has done. So we'll have to make changes in this particular code itself. So I'll keep this code as it is. Some of the digits here. We'll just open it over here. Open. Equivalent. Some of the digits. Is this font size okay? Yes, no, kuch to bolo.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll keep this function as it is. Instead, I'll write another function called as get integer. So we'll define a function saying it's get integer. That too, it's a positive integer that we could have said. Since it is not taking any parameter, that's good. Return type is integer, that's great. Enter a positive integer. Okay, it could have been any integer. Why just positive integer? You want some of the digits, isn't it? So why positive integer? Even if the number is -127, we should be in a position to get the sum of the digits for -127. So let's say accept and get an and please enter an integer. Did the question say only positive integer? Ashish?
No, sir.
So we strip it and then we take each digit. Now this will create a problem because If it is minus something, if you have written, so each digit will always fail. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to strip the first element out of it and get the rest of the data. Means let's configure this slightly. Tools, preferences. The font size is too small. Here we go. Console, plain text size, I'll make it 14. 14. Rich text, that also I'll make it 14. Okay. I hope this is visible. Suppose I have some data. N is equal to, we had done this validation earlier as well, 234. So I want to check this version of Python seems to be incorrectly compiled. Internal generated file names are not obsolete. This may make debugger miss breakpoints. Okay, ये कौन सा version है Python का? 3.11. क्या issue इसमें? Let's keep on using it. Suppose this is the number, and we want to check whether it's digits or not. Suppose if I say n dot is digits, so obviously it will say false. Is digit, obviously it says false. We would like to skip the first sign that is there. So if I say n, and we go ahead with the submission, I say I'd like to have all elements from the first element. So that will give you all the elements except the sign. So that's the logic that we'll use. While we are checking whether it's digit or not, the first column will skip. But the issue is like, if its number is 234, do you really want to miss the first two? Okay, so that shouldn't happen. What we would like to do is, if it is minus, then only we would like to miss it. So skip it. So how do I do that? Let's do it. So here, first we set strip, that will remove the spaces, and then we'll check whether if number of 0 equal to in plus or minus. So even if user has given plus 45 or user has given minus 45, we would like to just get rid of it. So in that case, I'll say is num of 1::: is digit. If it is not digit, I'll say I'll give an error message and I'll not run this particular code. I'll not accept it. So here, I would rather print an error message, and you want to give a user to continue this particular chance, we could just put this entire thing inside loop. Enter only integers. I'll say incorrect value supplied message, and we could, assuming that you would like to make sure that user is forced to enter the data. So here I will just say while true, assuming that you're going to force the user to enter the input. We ask it to enter integer, strip कर लिया, अगर plus या minus sign है, तो नहीं, if it is that, I'm going to check whether it's digit. What we'll do is, if it is this, then I'll take temp is equal to I take a temporary number. You may be wondering, why am I doing that? Because even if it is not, means even if it's like only 243, then also I would like to check. So what I'm doing, first I'm storing this number, and if the first element inside this temp is plus or minus, then temp में से वो sign निकाल देंगे, and then we'll check whether from the 0th position I'll check is digit or not. So I'll not go with the first position, I'll go ahead with the 0th position. Or I don't have to even specify the position, I'll have to take the entire string. So let me know if you're understanding what I'm doing. Here I get the number, removing the spaces. I check if the first symbol is plus or minus. If it is, then I'll ignore that plus minus. And if it is not digits, whatever the number, the original number or after removing the sign, if it is digit, if it is not digits, don't put these brackets. And if not temp dot is digit, we'll say incorrect value subtract and continue. Continue to take you out. And if that's the only validation that we are doing, assuming that's the only validation that we're doing, I'll just say over here else break. No, I cannot say else break. I'll say else. And this is what we'll do. And then we'll return no. So, and I'll say return num over here. So I could return, I could break and return null. So I could just say break, and I could say return num. So we have done some kind of validations. Let me know if you have any objections to this. Let me know if you have any concern. I get the number, I strip it, I check whether the first character is plus or minus. If it is plus or minus, I ignore, remove that plus or minus. Otherwise, I'm checking whether it's all digits. If it is digits, if it is not digit, I'll say incorrect value subtract, continue to take you back to the beginning of the loop. We'll continue. If it is all digits, we'll go here, we'll convert to integer, we'll say break. After returning break, we'll say return num. The break will terminate the loop and we'll return the number, whatever positive or negative number that is. So once we have got this particular number here, I'll call this function called as get integer. I'll call this function get integer, and then we are calling function sum of the digits. Before that, I'm going to write one statement whose explanation I'll not provide over here right now. I'll say if, and you start doing this even if you don't understand what does it mean. Equal to this is what you'll do. You like it, you don't like it, you understand it, you don't understand it. That's a statement that you write, and then you'll proceed further. Then you give a call to sum of the digits. Here we come. We pass that integer. Obviously, it has to be integer. You'll return an integer. If not instance of integer, if the data that you have supplied is not an integer, then we're going to give an the input has to be integer. The should be an integer. Message de diya. And you're not going to ask to input the number once again. That's definitely not the thing that we'll do. We'll rather just return. Or we'll raise an error. Remember that raise had given you an error. So I'll just raise an error saying raise, which error will raise? Runtime error. We'll stop the function there and itself. If it is an integer, obviously, then they don't have to convert to string. It's already an integer. It's already an integer. You don't have to convert to string once again. So we take a counter whose value is 0, a counter that you haven't used over here. So we'll have to get rid of that counter since you're not using it. You have variable sum, and they say I in num. I in num. Okay. So here we have to have an iterable. Suppose if I say for I in 5 and I say print I, so it generates an error because 5
वो
is not iterable.
स्ट्रिंग था
here-
वो,
Pardon?
नम स्ट्रिंग था, आपने वो निकाल दिया ना?
अच्छा नम स्ट्रिंग था, आपने स्ट्रिंग लेके उसमें से एक एक वैल्यू ले रहे हो.
यस यस,
ओके, फिर नंबर -5 रहेगा तो
फिर
माइनस
ऊपर
नहीं लेगा.
आपने चेंज किया ना टेम्प का।
करेक्ट, तो वो -5 नहीं लेगा. तो फॉर लूप इज नॉट द राइट अप्रोच हियर. Even if the number is negative or positive, it will still work. Okay, so in that case, your num, whatever supplied, will remain as it is. Then I'll take 10 is equal to. Now, suppose if I import maths, and if I say dir math, so here in math, we have some functions. Let's see, do we have any such function over here that will give you absolute value? So we have FABS. So let's look at what FABS is. I say help math.fabs. तो कहता है रिटर्न्स एन एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू ऑफ फ्लोटिंग पॉइंट नंबर. तो जो भी आप नंबर दोगे उसका आपको एक एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू मिल जाएगा. सो नाउ आई विल से हियर math.fabs of the number that you have supplied. And then I'll go to the while loop. I'll say while then not equal to 0. I'll have to perform some operations. If it was a string, I'll have to start from the after the sign. अगर आप string में convert करने वाले हो तो, but that sign is -123 का भी total आना चाहिए और 123 का भी total आना चाहिए. So there is no way we could have ignored a negative number. So while 10 not equal to 0, and let's start doing some operation. I'll say I would like to have sum of the digits. So I'll say first digit is equal to 10 mod 10. That'll give me the, suppose if I have a number like 123, if I say 123 mod 10, that gives me 3, the last digit. And then I would say 10 is equal to 10 divided by 10. So if I have this 123, if I say divided by 10, that gives me 12.3. But I would like to have integer division. If I want integer division, I'll say slash slash, they'll give me integer division. That gives me integer division. And I'll keep on doing this till 10 not equal to 0. Moment it becomes 0, we'll come out and we will return the sum. अच्छा, sum भी store करना था आपको. तो ये आपने ले लिया यहाँ sum is equal to, sum initialized to 0 है पहले. तो I'll say sum plus digit. And then we return sum. So that will make the work thing for us. Let's verify whether this is working right. Let's run this code. Now this is new, new version I have installed. Let me check what else says. ये कुछ और ही हो रहा है. Run configuration. अच्छा execute करके गायब हो गया. So this is new thing. I am also checking. It says run profiler नहीं चाहिए मुझे. So let's do this and set it first. कह रहा है ये फाइल आपको रन करनी है. Run configuration per file. So I don't want it per file. I would like it for all the files. Execute in dedicated console. And I say run. I say run again. क्या हो रहा है? It's a just latest version that I've installed. So every version comes with some new things. So एक काम करते हैं, यहाँ चलते हैं and I'll say run till current line. Run करना होगा. Preferences. Default. Use the following interpreter. अपना वाला देते हैं interpreter. C colon. Program files. Python नहीं है. 86. Wait, no Python. है ना Python. Three point 11.4. Yeah, है. And this file is. ये फाइल लेते हैं. Python exe है ना? Yes. I don't know what's the matter. Anyway, I'll run it from the command prompt before wasting any time. Let's go to command prompt and let's say Python. Oh, that's not installed. So Windows में है क्या, Ubuntu में है क्या? Looks like Python path has not been specified. यहाँ देखते हैं. Okay, there is a mistake on my side. There is a mistake on my side. And I have identified the mistake. Our run configuration was right. There is nothing wrong over here. I'll just open up some other file, and if that's gonna run, there is no reason why this one should not run. ये सही है गलत है, तो ये भी रन नहीं हो रहा है, ये गलत ही था, इसमें कॉल ही नहीं किया फंक्शन को. Suppose if I call this function get integer, if that works, then there's a mistake on my side. Yes. Okay. Now what is the mistake? Here, if this name underscore this is equal to main, there is where I had mistakenly put quotes. That was a mistake. There was nothing else. Okay, now please enter integer is what we have been asked. So let me enter integer. I enter integer as A, B, C, D. It says incorrect value supplied. Please enter integer. I say $A, B, C, D. Incorrect value supplied. I say $123. The incorrect value supplied. I say plus 123. Sum of the digits is 6.0. We'll get rid of that 0.0. But let's run the code once again. I say minus 123. Sum of the digits is 126. Now the only change that we have to do is we have to take care of that digit. So this sum of the digits function, what it is returning sum over here, we just have to return the rounded up value. That means we do not want the float value. And why are we getting float? Because we have said FABS over here. FABS returns float. So I'll just cast it to integer. So I'll not get float. Here we go. Let's run the code. Please enter integer. I enter 123. I get sum of the digit 6. I enter plus 123. I get sum of the digit 6. I enter minus 123. Get the sum of digits of minus 123 is 6. And if I enter something wrong, 0023, get that 23 digit sum is 5. That's perfect way to handle the situation. This is not what we are expecting to do. We have some of the digits calculate कर लिया. So I just save this file, save as. I'll call this as B colon में Python में I have programs, and I'll say function some of the digits. Now, what I want you all to do is, I want you to do the dry run for this particular function and show me. Forget about validation, but ये जो part किया है इसका dry run आपने मुझे करके दिखाना है some of the digits के लिए. And I'm sharing this code with you. Chat. That. Some of the digits is a file that I've shared with you. Let me know if you have received this file. Yes, have you all received the file?
Yes,
Feedback? I'll give you 2 minutes. Open up that file, go through the code. If there is any statement where you're finding it confusing, please ask before you go ahead. So you have 2 minutes. Just open up the code and go through the entire file. I'll have it on the screen as well. For those who are working on mobile, any line statement that you find confusing, except for line number 28, don't ask me the meaning for that. Except for line number 28, any line, I could put this in else as well. That change I could do because we are going to come out of the loop only when we say return. Else, when we come out of the loop, we are going to say return sum. That's one change that I have done. Now, in this entire code, in any of these two functions, let me know if you have any queries. Anybody?
Sir, return will give you the answer.
No, it will return the result. Whatever is the value of sum, that will be returned. Return value will now get assigned to this variable sum. Now, the only thing that you should be very careful is look at the variable temp and look at sum. There is a problem. If you look at this, you'll immediately realize sum is being shown as if it's a predefined function. Since it's a predefined function, avoid using a name to identifier which will be same as that of a predefined function. So instead of this, I'll call this as sum of digit sum. I'll say digit sum. IDs are fantastic. They will immediately tell you कहाँ issue है. तो ये आपका digit sum है. And यहाँ से हम लोग digit sum return करें. So what is the value of digit sum that is returned? वो return value यहाँ substitute हो जाएगा. That will get assigned to this particular variable. And let's call this variable also as digit sum. Yeah, some digit, whatever it is. I'll call it some digits only. Digit sum digit. Digit sum I'll call this. And यहाँ भी मैं ये value देता हूँ. So that is better. So you are not suppressing any predefined function in Python. So that's one correction that we have done. And Python doesn't say use parentheses everywhere, except there is an expression like a plus b or something. Then make sure that you use it. Okay. Any statement that you find confusing, please ask. Have you understood what we have done? If you're not even if you're having a concern as to why it was done so, then also you could ask. Okay, what if this function was passed a wrong value? हो सकता है. Somebody may give a call to this particular function after all the validation that is done, and here may pass 123. ऐसा हो सकता है. If user passes something like this, then what would happen? पहला नंबर लिया मैंने 555 का total आ गया 15, and then it has raised an error. The input to the function, some of the digits must be integer. ये आ गया आपका error message at the bottom. Must be integer and so on. So that message has correctly been displayed. Runtime error. Okay, so your call to the function is incorrect. It will tell you the line number also where that call is incorrect. बता रहा है क्या line number? Yes, line number 32 पे आपने गलती की. All that thing is being shown. इस file में line number 32 पे आपने गलत किया है. So that was the incorrect call. Just to check the error situation.
सर लाइन नंबर 20 पे वो एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू जो ली है उससे क्या होगा?
हाँ, absolute value क्यों ले रहे? -123 होगा. So I do not want to perform that operation with minus numbers and so on, because then temp not equal to 0 है क्या -0 है, वो झंझट क्यों चाहिए? So I'm just taking absolute value, getting rid of the sign. Pardon?
temp में पहले से ही माइनस प्लस हटा के नंबर temp में पहले से ही एक नंबर स्टोरेज वो माइनस प्लस छोड़ के है. लाइन नंबर 6 पे देखो.
Line number 6.
वहां पे जो किया है.
ना ध्यान से देखो. I will not answer this. I want you to figure out. देखो तो जरा. देखो.
हाँ, got it.
क्या गलती बताओ?
सर वो लोकल उसमें
वो लोकल था. यहाँ से आपने नम रिटर्न किया. जो नंबर आपने पास किया था वही नेगेटिव से रिटर्न किया. ये तो एक ऐसे एक टेम्प एक वेरिएबल था. अर्लियर वो स्ट्रिंग था, फिर उसको हमने इंटीजर में यहाँ कन्वर्ट, उसको तो स्ट्रिंग ही रखा है, कुछ किया ही नहीं. यहाँ उस नंबर को इंटीजर में कन्वर्ट कर लिया और फिर वो रिटर्न नम कर लिया. इसको और छोटा करना चाहते थे तो दैट वाज आल्सो पॉसिबल. क्या कर सकते थे, यहाँ से डायरेक्टली रिटर्न कह सकते, रिटर्न इंट ऑफ नम यहाँ भी डाल सकते. तो ये ब्रेक लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. लूप में से भी रिटर्न करोगे तो डायरेक्टली बाहर चले आओगे. तो ये यहाँ ऐसे लिखने की जगह दिस वुड वर्क एंड दिस वुड आल्सो वर्क. int of num. देखते हैं ये भी काम करता है क्या. You run this particular code, user enters integer as -123. फिर भी काम कर रहा है. यूजर एंटर किया नंबर एस +123 ये भी काम कर रहा है. या यूजर एंटर द रॉन्ग वैल्यू से एस 1A5, इट्स इनकरेक्ट वैल्यू सब्ट्रैक्ट. यूजर एंटर्स एस 12 कहता है इनकरेक्ट है, $12, अच्छा $12 डालना है, मैंने 124 डाल दिया, तो 124 डाल दिया तो 124 is 7 आंसर आ रहा है. तो दिस कुड ऑल्सो बी हैव अ चॉइस. दैट मीन्स ये तो यहाँ कंटिन्यू की भी जरूरत नहीं है, कोड इज जस्ट चेंजिंग. एक चेंज करने जाओगे तभी एल्स में डाला ना, तो आपको कंटिन्यू कहने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज आइदर ऑफ स्टेटमेंट विल गेट एग्जीक्यूटेड. तो यहाँ से आप रिटर्न करोगे नहीं तो आप वापस लूप में जाओगे, तो रिटर्न विल रिटर्न टेक द कंट्रोल आउट ऑफ द लूप एज वेल. तो कंटिन्यू की भी जरूरत नहीं है. देखते हैं. तो आई गिव नंबर एज प्लस 123, इट्स वर्किंग. I run the program, I give input as minus 123 is still running. And have you noticed one more thing? Some of the digits of 123 is 6, some of the digits of minus 123 is also 6. And then if I give hash 32 error, if I say $45 error, $45, $54 error, and you're forcing the user to enter the right data, the user enters number like 777 is 21. So we have now made changes, few more changes to the code and reduce the size of the code. ये break big सब हटा दिया. So this loop will terminate only when you enter this return. तो आप number return integer return करने वाले हो. But then यहाँ क्या लिखा है और यहाँ से क्या return करे उसका कोई मतलब नहीं, because here whatever value user has written you getting stored into num, that is integer. फिर आप यहाँ से integer पास कर रहे हो, पर क्या पता है यूजर ना इस फंक्शन के पहले भी sum of the digit को कॉल कर सकता है डायरेक्टली. तो यूजर में गिव अ कॉल टू दिस फंक्शन सम ऑफ द डिजिट्स समथिंग लाइक दिस, यानी यहाँ वो डायरेक्टली 3.4 भी पास कर सकता है. दैट कैन आल्सो हैपन. तो 3.4 पास किया तो गलत डेटा आपने पास किया है. भले यू हैड एंटर नंबर एज 11, कहता है आपने ये शुड बी इंटीजर, क्योंकि आपने यहाँ 3.4 पास किया है, वो इंटीजर नहीं है तो एरर दे देगा. Who knows ना यूजर कैसे कॉल करेगा. जरूरी नहीं कि यूजर हमेशा इस फंक्शन को कॉल करने के पहले calls function get integer, कोई जरूरी नहीं. He can directly call this function get into some of the digits. That could be the first function that he's calling. So we have to make this validation जो यहाँ किया है आशीष ने, that was something which was very very important. So I'll share this updated program as well and let me know if you still have some query anybody. And meanwhile अगर आपने जो कोड सबमिट किया उसमें आप अगर चेंज करना चाहते हैं तो वो भी बताइए. D colon Python programs. It is some of the digits. Yes, it is an updated version. So take this updated version as well. Any questions, everybody? Now, having this program as a reference, आपने जो दूसरा प्रोग्राम सबमिट किया है मल्टीपल ऑफ 10, मल्टीपल ऑफ 10 नहीं था, मल्टीप्लिकेशन टेबल टिल 10 था. ओके, those who want to make changes and submit it again. Validation का फंक्शन है, you have that function with you. And if you have next question क्या था, if I give any number, suppose if I give a number like 12, तो 12 1s are 12 to 12 10s are 120 तक प्रिंट करना है आपको. So that was the question. So if you want to make any changes looking at this code, please make the changes and resubmit the code. I'll wait for 5 minutes. Just done. So it was simple multiplication. Let's see what Ashish is doing. He says get integer. Okay, that function is the same. Let's focus on print table. He has taken start limit and table start, table limit. Okay. If not instance num of integer, he's raising an error. So we are expecting this function to pass an integer, and if you fail to pass an integer, it will generate an error. It's not going to return anything. Very good. For I in the range start to limit, if num into I, and then the format. Perfect. कुछ था
सर वो रन टाइम एरर है ना,
हाँ.
उसका मैसेज कॉपी किया मैंने, चेंज करना था.
Okay, the input to the function sum of the digits. Okay, printable should be an integer. I in the range start to end. This was the only code क्या था इसमें, but then you have correctly done the formatting. So width is 4, सेंट्रल लाइन ले रहे, सेंट्रल लाइन शायद ठीक नहीं लगेगा, देखते हैं. आई डोंट थिंक सेंट्रल लाइन वर्क करेक्टली. लेट्स ओपन अप दिस फाइल. ये अलाइनमेंट थोड़ा मिसमैच हो जाता है सेंट्रल लाइन के लिए अगर नंबर बड़ा हो जाए. लेट्स सी विच वन इज अ फाइल. ये ना मल्टीपल.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see whether the center alignment is correct or not. Enter integer, I enter 5. सही तो लग रहा है यार. सेंटर लाइन कैसे सही आ रहा है. I take number like 12. ऐसे क्या सही आ रहा है, सेंटर से कैसे चलेगा. वो विड्थ के सेंटर में. ओके, 4 विड्थ के सेंटर में. और सेंटर वर्क राइट. 2 डिजिट नंबर और सिंगल डिजिट नंबर एक के नीचे एक कैसे आ रहे हैं. लेट मी सी, तो कहाँ ये आपने डाला है, सेंटर कैसे फिल हो रहा है. लेट्स सी, जस्ट टू चेक ये सेंटर कैसे किसके सेंटर में आ रहा है. I had thought of making it left aligned. Okay, so it's working right. Center is also working right. I was planning to have it right justified. This is what I was planning. Let's see how does it appear if I say right justified. This is what I had in my mind. या फिर इसे लेफ्ट जस्टिफाइड और उसको राइट जस्टिफाइड. Center also looks nice. We'll keep it central line. So that's a perfect code. No suggestions in terms of improvement. Good work, Ashish. D colon. And I'll share this file with all of you. Everybody should have got it. ऐसा ना हो कि एक ही बंदा किए जा रहा है और आप लोग देख रहे हो सिर्फ कोड, और rather it's an interaction between me and him. ऐसा ना हो. So the solution is shared with all of you. Okay, Rahul has also done it. Let's see what Rahul had done it. Rahul ने क्या किया था देखते हैं.
सर एक्चुअली मैंने किया है बट वो इनफाइनाइट लूप में जा रहा है एक
शेयर
बार.
करो, शेयर करो.
यस
सॉल्यूशन सही हो ये कोई जरूरी नहीं है. आशीष के पहले सॉल्यूशन में हमने पूरा नया कोड लिख दिया. आपने लिखना जरूरी है. अब आशीष को भी हमेशा याद रहेगा क्या रे सर ने क्या क्या चेंजेस किए थे. He will never do those नेगेटिव नंबर. तो कभी जिंदगी में नहीं भूलेगा कि यार नेगेटिव नंबर भी हो सकता था, इंटीजर है तो ये आपने करना जरूरी है. सही गलत वो छोड़ो. Let's look at the code that Rahul has submitted.
I have shared sir.
Shantanu and Rahul, both of them have submitted. Let's have a look at both the codes. ये राहुल का है. ये तो हम लोग देखेंगे नहीं. Just hide that function. Integer है, num, counter is equal to 1, limit is equal to 10. ये limit constant चाहिए था, like what he had done. Counter equal to 1. इससे क्या हुआ? ये कोई फायदा ही नहीं था. आशीष नहीं, राहुल. This statement was totally unnecessary. ये नहीं लिखोगे तो भी वही काम करेगा. Because counter का value will be taken from here. So that would not be, and this was not formatted. Okay, so it would have been better if it had done some kind of formatting. This alignment would not look nice if the numbers are larger. So alignment was necessary. The width specifier, other things should have been given. Otherwise, it will not look in a right alignment. So that was a suggestion. तो formatted string आपने F तो कहा है, सिर्फ substitution के लिए कहा है आपने, और कुछ किया ही नहीं. तो alignment handle करना जरूरी था. That was suggestion for you. Let's look at what Rahul has submitted. Shantanu has submitted. ये function तो we'll keep it aside. Shantanu, we are expecting user to pass integer. अगर वो integer नहीं है तो आप यहाँ error दे रहे हो. Okay, so यार में इस function का नाम multiplication है.
आई थिंक आई गॉट कि जहाँ पे ये इनफाइनाइट लूप में जा रहा है. while में जो टेम्प यूज किया है.
एब्सोल्यूट करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है.
ओके
नेगेटिव रहेगा तो नेगेटिव नंबर का ये निकालेंगे, उसमें क्या है.
ओके
तो ये एब्सोल्यूट की कोई जरूरत नहीं थी. ना ही ये
And टेम्प की जगह पे आई यूज करेंगे हम लोग
यहाँ ना
ऊपर.
ये
और
क्या
ये
किया?
हाँ कुछ भी
नहीं.
मतलब इंस्टेड ऑफ टेम्प.
ये टेम्प नंबर जो था वो वही यूज करोगे तो भी काफी है.
नहीं बट
Less
वो
than equal to
इनफाइनाइट
zero.
लूप में जा रहा है.
ये लेस देन इक्वल 0 है. आपका टेम्प लेस देन इक्वल 0 नहीं. टेम्प तो हमेशा
नहीं टेम्प यस बट ये जो मेरा इनफाइनाइट लूप में जा रहा है बिकॉज मैंने आई लिखना
नहीं.
चाहिए
इस
था. वो
लूप की जरूरत ही नहीं थी. आपको है ना फॉर लूप चाहिए था. फॉर आई इन द रेंज 11 ये चलेगा. 11 मतलब 0 से स्टार्ट होगा. ये इसलिए हमें चाहिए 1 to 11. आई इन द रेंज 1 to 11. और ये जो आपका नंबर था, नंबर इनटू आई, डिजिट आएगा आपका, नंबर आएगा रिजल्ट. Num into I is equal to digit. Yeah, but the name digit is not right. You should have thought about some other name. Product
result or something.
और इसको इंक्रीमेंट करने की जरूरत नहीं. फॉर लूप इज एन ऑटोमेटिक लूप. ये लूप ऑटोमेटिकली इंक्रीमेंट कर लेता है. और एल्स की कोई जरूरत नहीं थी, इतना करोगे मैटर प्लस।
हाँ फिर अभी सही आना चाहिए,
यस, तो ये
बट
चेक करके देखिए
इसमें
आप, मैं आपके साथ शेयर कर रहा हूँ। तो उसमें कुछ एनहांसमेंट कर सकते हो तो करिएगा। फॉर्मेटिंग आपने भी नहीं किया, विथ स्पेसिफायर हर थिंग शुड हैव बीन यूज्ड, सो अलाइनमेंट वगैरह सही आ जाएगा, वो भी करना जरूरी था।
ओके
ओके, anybody else? पृथ्वीराज एंड विराज, क्या इशू?
सर मेरा वो मैंने हाफ डिवाइड किया वो पूरा गलत था।
पृथ्वीराज, पृथ्वीराज सबमिट क्यों नहीं किया कोड?
I had to make a lot of changes.
दिस इज अ टॉपिक विच इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। आई मीन जिंदगी भर हम लोग फंक्शन ही लिखने वाले हैं in all the programs. So we'll do some practice rather than starting with some additional topic. I give you one more assignment. Write the code right away. अभी आपको तुरंत लिखना है प्रोग्राम। है ना? Write a function. Write a function. Check if palindrome. Write a function named check if palindrome. Check if palindrome. Check underscore if underscore palindrome. ऐसा ही function का नाम है। Which accepts a single integer as its argument. Which accepts a single integer as an argument. यानी आपको उसको integer ही पास करना है compulsory. Which accepts a single integer as its argument. Which accepts a single integer as its argument and returns true. And returns true if the argument supplied is palindrome, otherwise it returns false. Returns true if the argument supplied is palindrome, otherwise it returns false. Simple program है। यानी अगर आपने 121 पास किया तो राइट टू लेफ्ट, लेफ्ट राइट कैसे भी पढ़ो पैलिंड्रोम है। आपने 555 पास किया तो भी पैलिंड्रोम है। यानी you read it from left to right or right to left, the number is the same. Yeah, you could put in other words, a reverse of the number is the same number. अगर है तो वो पैलिंड्रोम है, otherwise number is not a palindrome. बट याद रखिएगा -121 भी पैलिंड्रोम है हमारे लिए, +121 भी पैलिंड्रोम है, and only 121 is also palindrome. So keeping that thing in mind, do it now. I give you 10 minutes to solve this assignment. It's 8:11 a by 8:21. I expect you to solve this. Do it fast. आपका गेट इंटीजर वाला फंक्शन है वो एक्सेप्ट कीजिएगा एंड जस्ट कंटिन्यू।
So you are not adding.
Sir, you are not audible.
So the question was like it should return. The return type was not integer. It was supposed to return Boolean value, either true or false. So you should have returned Boolean value and not printed anything. So we should have returned a Boolean value, either true or false. So you have true or you have false, आपको return करना चाहिए था, because the question very clearly said you should return a value. So since Rahul has got it right, let's see whether it's right. You are not supposed to return string, either only return true or false. So ये जो return कर रहा है result, we could print the result. Okay. I could directly print. I could say print f string आपका number is a palindrome, question mark. उसका answer. That means you can give a call to a function also from here. Let's see whether this one works right. So we ask user to enter integer. Here we go. We are asking the user to enter integer. User enters integer as 12. कहता है 12 is palindrome, false. 12 is a palindrome, false. If I enter 121, 120 is palindrome, true. Let's see, do you have worked it right for negative numbers? And it says false. So Rahul, it's going wrong for negative numbers. Minus 121 is also a palindrome. Make corrections. Okay, Ashish has submitted one. Ashish, sign का ख्याल रखा है before I go through it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is palindrome function. Let's have a look at submission that Ashish has done. That doesn't mean others will not write it. Rahul का solution सही था, but only for positive numbers. Negative numbers के लिए fail हो रहा है. Rather, Rahul के program में sign डाला तो fail होगा. Let's see what has been done over here. This we will hide because it's the same. Check if palindrome instance integer नहीं है तो you're generating an error. Very correct. Input math ले लिया है. आपने ये ले लिया, नंबर का रिवर्स फाइंड कर लिया, और रिवर्स फाइंड करने के बाद इक्वल टू ओरिजिनल नंबर है क्या चेक किया, अगर है तो रिटर्न ट्रू, अदरवाइज रिटर्न फॉल्स. सही तो है, बहुत मेहनत ली है यार. इफ इज पैलिंड्रोम, नंबर इज अ पैलिंड्रोम, उससे अच्छा ये जो मैंने इस तरीके से लिखा था वही स्टेटमेंट लिखोगे. तो ये सब कुछ क्यों चाहिए? ये से हो जाएगा. ये ट्रू फॉल्स प्रिंट कर देगा. बट लेट्स, ये बहुत मेहनत ली है आशीष. ये सी प्रोग्रामर के लिए ठीक है, पाइथन प्रोग्रामर के लिए एंड दिस ऑपरेटर इज नाइटमेयर. गलती से भी यूज मत करो. लिखो, एक्सपांड करो. temp इज इक्वल टू temp, और मैं जो कह रहा याद रखो, ऐसा ही लिखो. / equal to half of the people will not even be in position to realize what you are doing. रिवर्स नंबर का इनिशियल वैल्यू 0 लिया है. फिर ये भी नेगेटिव के लिए आपने एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू लिया temp में, रिटर्न किया इधर ट्रू और फॉल्स. ओके, और जब तक एब्सोल्यूट वैल्यू नॉट इक्वल 0 ये इंट में कन्वर्ट कर लिया. गुड. डिजिट फाइंड कर लिया, रिवर्स दे लिया, और सब कुछ करने का यहाँ आके चेक कर रहे ये if reversed है या नहीं, otherwise true, otherwise false. Okay, but I would love what Rahul had done. That was a simpler way to do it. Let's see first. 12 is a palindrome, false. Minus 12 is a palindrome, false. 1 1 2 2 1 1 true, it's a palindrome. Minus 121, it's palindrome. Plus 121, that's also palindrome. So that's working right. Logic that we applied is you have calculated reverse of the number and then check if the reverse of the number is equal to original number without sign. Because here you have ignored sign, so here also you are ignoring sign. If that is true, you are returning true, otherwise it returns false. Now, everybody have a look here. If I tell you, I want you to get rid of this true or false, कर पाओगे? if else नहीं use करना है और आंसर पर रिटर्न करना है. This is unnecessary if else. आशीष, ये देखिए, everybody pay attention है. We should get rid of such unnecessary if else. अगर मैं यहाँ लिख देता डायरेक्टली रिटर्न एंड ये रिटर्न ही कर लेता, इससे भी काम बन जाएगा ना. बिकॉज व्हाट विल द स्टेटमेंट रिटर्न, आइदर ट्रू और फॉल्स. व्हेन यू आर कंपेयरिंग दोस टू नंबर्स, आइदर दैट विल बी ट्रू और इट विल बी फॉल्स. यस और नो?
Yes.
So the result can be directly written. Why write if else? So that was unnecessary if else. Let's see whether it works in this fashion. If I say 12, false, it's not a palindrome. If I say 330, that's a palindrome. I take minus 141 and that's palindrome. So it's working. And avoid unnecessary if else. आपने ध्यान दिया क्या? यहाँ boolean value return करना था, तो you are checking for a condition, and then next he had कहा गया. Anyway, ये ऐसा कुछ true or false था. आशीष, राहुल के प्रोग्राम में भी उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. So avoid unnecessary if else, everybody. And here he has used logic of calculating the reverse of the number and then doing this operation. So this is perfect as far as if you use this logic of calculation of reverse of the number and doing the calculation. I would appreciate आशीष अगर आप इसको राहुल के स्टाइल में सॉल्व करने की कोशिश करोगे तो. Anybody else who has submitted? Viraj has also submitted. Let's see what has Viraj done.
Sir, I was trying to do by Ashish way, but I was not getting how to do that reverse.
ये num reverse is equal to true, ये लिस्ट के साथ सॉर्ट वगैरह करते समय होता है, not with integer. Reverse is equal
Yes,
to
sir.
reverse
वो मुझे मिल ही नहीं रहा.
नहीं, ऐसा है ही नहीं. There is nothing direct. You have to take a string and string को reverse करने का logic सोचिएगा. Number will not directly get reversed. Reverse equal to true. That was for sorting. Sort method में that was one parameter. Reverse equal to true option. So don't mess up strings with other things. राहुल करो कंप्लीट. क्या चेंजेस कर रहे थे करो. साइन को तो हैंडल करना है आपको सिर्फ. Meanwhile, all of you, I'm sharing Ashish's code because that was correct one. I just wanted to have a different technique to do that. Palindrome function is what I submitted, shared with all of you. Check it out. I hope all of you have received that. Ashish, राहुल ने जो किया था उस स्टाइल से करो. राहुल का भी कोड मैं आप सबके साथ शेयर करता हूँ, but that needs correction. राहुल क्या था? माय पैलिंड्रोम ना?
नहीं सर, वो मेरा है.
Okay.
फंक्शन
पैलिंड्रोम. चलो उस फंक्शन में चेंजेस करो सिर्फ. राहुल के फंक्शन में I shared Rahul's program with you all. Make changes.
सर पैलिंड्रोम फंक्शन किसका है?
Palindrome function आशीष का है. That's correct code. That's one way to look at it. मैं कह रहा हूँ राहुल के तरीके से कर सकते हैं क्या? अगर वैसा हो जाता तो और आसान दिखाई देगा कोड. नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेशंस कम होते हैं क्या? कंपेयर करने के लिए चाहिए हमें. Yes, come on, it shouldn't take so long. चलो, let's work on राहुल का solution. क्या किया जा सकता है? This is Ashish का solution. This is Rahul का solution. Integer has been supplied. He converts integer to a string. Okay, he converts integer to a string. Now, what you should have done is watch it very carefully. Integer नहीं है तो error था. इस integer को convert करते समय सिर्फ sign को ही तो ignore करना था. और क्या करना था? तो we could say like what? Math, import math. Import math. यहाँ लिख देता मैं math dot fabs of this number. Okay. और इसको कन्वर्ट कर लेते हैं into integer और उसका string. ठीक है, तो नंबर का string रिप्रेजेंटेशन आ गया. खत्म है, इतना तो चेंज करना था. Let's see, hopefully it works. Number 121 2 palindrome है. Number 1221 2 it's palindrome. Number plus 343 true it's palindrome. Number minus 343 that's also palindrome. So it's working right. So only one change on this line and this could do. Again, these were all unnecessary. Unnecessary if else लिखना बंद करो. I'll say return if number str is equal to this. That's it. खत्म. So this was even smaller code. इतना ही था. So first we're checking, since the question demanded it has to be integer, so we're checking whether it's integer. If it's integer, if it's not an integer, ये not वगैरह किया, ये bracket वगैरह मत डालने से. Erase runtime error, whatever is the error. Then we import math and we take the absolute value. So I get rid of the sign. Then once I get rid of the sign, we convert into an integer so that decimal part is also taken care of. Got rid of. Then we convert into string, and the string and its reverse is equal to same. अगर equal है तो return true और otherwise return false. राहुल एक लाइन का चेंज था, एक लाइन का भी नहीं, इतना ही चेंज था उसके अंदर. instead of num integer में कन्वर्ट करके this would do the logic for you. What he had done was also right, but look at the efforts that he is putting. ये मैथ वगैरह एफ बेस तो ले लिया है, रिवर्स नंबर ले लिया, कोई यहाँ गलती हो जाए, रिवर्स को इनिशियलाइज करना भूल जाए तो भी प्रॉब्लम है. और 10 नॉट इक्वल 0, फिर डिजिट फाइंड करो, डिजिट से आप रिवर्स नंबर फाइंड करो. हाँ, ऐसे एक्सप्रेशन में ब्रैकेट्स यूज कीजिएगा बिकॉज क्लियर होने के लिए कि नंबर पहले मल्टीप्लाई किया जा रहा है, तो उसका जो आंसर है वो डिजिट्स के साथ ऐड किया जाएगा. दैट वाज टू मच ऑफ वर्क. रिटर्न करते समय भी ये नंबर रिटर्न करो ट्रू और फॉल्स. So instead, this is a simple way to do it. So this is all 4 lines code that you have to write, not more than that. I am sharing this updated version of the program also with you all. So write programs Pythonic way. Let us save this file, both the files in fact. File CS programs. Let's say function palindrome 1 and function palindrome 2. Function palindrome 1. And what Ashish has done also right, but there is a reason why I wanted it to be in a different way. And I hope you appreciate why I wanted it to be in a different way. आशीष क्या पसंद करोगे, जो राहुल का स्टाइल था या आपने जो किया?
सर ऑब्वियसली राहुल का.
पॉइंट क्या है, योर आंसर इज परफेक्ट. लेस नंबर ऑफ स्टेप्स चाहिए, कोड मेंटेन करने के लिए आसान चाहिए, दूसरे को समझने के लिए आसान चाहिए. सो जस्ट लाइक रिवर्स कर ले, स्ट्रिंग ले लिया, रिवर्स कर ले एंड चेक वेदर नंबर इज प्राइम पैरेलल और नॉट. So I have shared both the files with you all. राहुल की फाइल में अभी हमने चेंजेस किया, आशीष का फाइल तो पहले ही मैंने शेयर किया आप लोगों के साथ. Look at different approaches that we have. Both are right, but we have to select one of them. So make sure that you make attempts to solve the assignments. Take one more question as an assignment and we'll stop here today. Tomorrow I will definitely start with a new topic that is about types of function arguments that we can have.
Sir, those files did not come.
नहीं मिला क्या बात
नहीं.
शेयर किया ना यार. फंक्शन पैराडाइम. अरे अभी भी तो शेयर किया है, क्या बात कर रहे हैं. 35 को ये आगे वापस शेयर कर रहा हूँ. फंक्शन पैराडाइम. अच्छा चेंज वाला नहीं था.
हाँ सर.
हाँ अभी चेंज शेयर किया. आ गया.
सर वही है, नाम पर चेंज.
नाम वही है तो
Okay.
पुराना तो चाहिए नहीं हमें. और आशीष ने जो दिया था वो भी शेयर कर रहा हूँ.
सर वो ओवर रिटर्न है ना.
हाँ ओवरराइट हो जाएगा, आप ले लो वो ओरिजिनल फाइल गेट ओवर रिटर्न. अब थोड़ा सा I'll just to explain the next assignment. Let us have a go to Notepad++ and there is where I'll explain the next assignment. Notepad open कर लेते हैं. Next assignment कुछ इस तरीके से है. You're going to write a function called as piglatin. फंक्शन का नाम है piglatin. ये फंक्शन का नाम है. Okay, p should be small. अभी piglatin होता क्या है वो देख लेते पहले. pig तो मालूम है, piglatin क्या है देखते हैं. ध्यान से बोलो piglatin क्या है. Piglet is a language game or argot in which words in English are altered. Kaise? Usually by adding fabricated suffix or by moving onset or initial consonant or consonant cluster of words to the end of the word and adding vowelic syllable to create such a suffix. अब ये थोड़ा सा पढ़ना मुश्किल हो जाएगा. Let me take an example. तो अगर ये बनाना है, okay, तो you could, I'll keep it simple. एक कॉन्सोनेंट साउंड के लिए दिया था. एक एग्जांपल लो तो समझ में आ जाएगा. समझो पिगलेटिन कैसे है. अगर इनपुट ऑमलेट है ना तो यहाँ क्या हुआ, ऑमलेट में से पहले 2 लेटर हटा दिए गए और ELET ये आ गया. ELET OM फिर इसके आ गया एंड देन AY वाज एडेड. तो ये क्लस्टर ऑफ वर्ड से भी किया जा सकता है या सिंगल वर्ड से भी किया जा सकता है. So every word over here will end with Y. Okay. So I don't know, but when I was a kid during my school days, we used to create during vacation. We used to say ची भाषा, ची भाषा, ची भाषा, and we used to use it. तो अगर वैसा ही कुछ आपको समझ में किया खेला रहेगा आपने तो ये कर लो. So what is happening is, so I'll take one more example. Suppose I take a sentence, and the sentence is she is very smart. ये आपका इनपुट है. आउटपुट कैसे चाहिए? तो it should be ESHAY. Okay. Then 2 लेटर गए, अगर 2 ही है तो आएंगे ISAY. Then RYVEAY. And then ARTSMAY. तो कर क्या रहे हैं हम लोग, सेंटेंस was she is very smart. The first two letters of that word are added at the end, e के बाद, तो ESHY हो गया she का, and it is always appended with AY. ये is था तो इसका तो easy रहेगा, तो is AY हो गया. अब very था तो RY के आगे the first two letters have been added, V appended with AY. Smart था SMART तो SM के चले गए, they have been appended at the end, तो ART के आगे SM ऐड हो गया, फिर AY. तो दिस इज व्हाट यू लाइक टू डू. तो इस तरीके से आपको एक पिगलैटिन क्रिएट करना होगा. तो you have to accept a string, write a function piglatin which accepts the string and returns a piglatin. Piglatin means it's a form that will be in encoded form very easily. Others will not be in position to interpret what I saying. तो she is smart. तो ऐसा कोई मैसेज दे दिया तो आपकी टीचर ने पकड़ लिया तो भी नहीं पता चलेगा what are you trying to say unless they are aware of this concept of piglatin. तो ये आपका आज का असाइनमेंट है.
सर
तो-
वो
हाँ.
शी का HE पहले आना चाहिए ना.
शी का 2 लेटर्स निकाल दिए तो सिर्फ ई रह गया.
ओके
और पहले 2 have been appended at the end and then AY. ऑमलेट में OM are deleted and added at the end and then appended with AY.
ओके सर.
Okay. So this is what you do. Write a function piglatin. Note कीजिएगा. Take a question now. Write a function piglatin which takes a single string as its argument. Write a function piglatin which takes a single string as its argument. Write a function piglatin which takes a single string as its argument. Which takes a single string as its argument and returns its piglatin. And returns its piglatin. Okay. और piglatin रिटर्न करते समय उसका फॉर्मूला क्या है या फॉर्मेट क्या है तो वो हमने दे दिया है. We have taken that formula format.
तो सबका पैटर्न सेम होना चाहिए.
Pardon?
कोई भी स्ट्रिंग हो उसका पैटर्न सेम होना चाहिए कि लाइक फर्स्ट लास्ट टू लेटर्स.
First two words letters should be appended to the end of a string and उसके आगे AY append करना है.
ओके. तो रैंडमली मतलब फॉर एग्जांपल शी है तो SHE तो रैंडमली शी प्लेस करके एंड देन अपेंड AY करेंगे तो नहीं चलेगा.
नहीं ना, शी है तो पहले 2 डिलीट करने हैं SH, उनको E के आगे ऐड करना है तो यानी ESH होना चाहिए.
ओके.
ये देखा ना आपने.
यस यस.
ये शी था तो उसके 2 लेटर्स डिलीट कर लिए, उन 2 लेटर को वर्ड के एंड में ऐड करना है, उसके आगे AY ऐड करना है.
ओके सर.
ओके. ये देखो ना, ये ऑमलेट का एग्जांपल देखो. ऑमलेट है उसमें से 2 हटा दिए तो रह गया ELET. तो OM उसके आगे ऐड कर लिया, OM उसके आगे ऐड, उसके आगे AY ऐड कर लिया.
ओके.
सो दैट्स एन असाइनमेंट. कम से कम लिखिएगा, कोड कम से कम लिखते हुए सॉल्व करने की कोशिश कीजिएगा. एक हिंट दे रहा हूँ, डोंट मेक इट टू लेंदी. कोई भी स्ट्रिंग हो तो इसमें देखिए क्या क्या करना है. मैं हिंट नहीं देता हूँ, आप ही सॉल्व करो. चलो, इसमें मल्टीपल वर्ड्स है, इतना याद रखो. पूरे स्ट्रिंग इज नॉट वन वर्ड. मगर सॉल्व करने के पहले माय एडवाइस वुड बी, आप है ना पहले एक वर्ड का सक्सेसफुली करके देखो. ऑमलेट का जैसे कि, इसीलिए मैंने 2 एग्जांपल दिए. एक ऑमलेट का एग्जांपल, दैट मीन्स पहला फंक्शन व्हेन यू ट्राई एंड स्टार्ट विद दैट फंक्शन, just focus on, if I give a single word, am I in a position to create its piglatin? And then think about, if I pass a sentence, how to work with it. That's a hint for you to go about solving. अगर आप एक word का कर पाए तो sentence का कर पाएंगे. Don't think about the entire sentence, मुश्किल हो जाता है. Think about, can I work with omelette, bread, कुछ भी करूँ तो, and then make a word like bread omelette, हम omelette कहते हैं, and then see whether it works. Okay, so that's a hint. It's an interesting assignment and it's a bit of challenge as well. गूगल नहीं करना है, हेल्प नहीं लेना है, खुद होकर सॉल्व करना है. नहीं तो क्या है, गूगल में तो सब कुछ है. That shouldn't be the case. हमें आपका लॉजिक इंप्रूव करना है, ना कि सर्च करने का लॉजिक.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Write a function pig Latin which accepts a stringer string as its argument and returns its pig Latin. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
And everybody, yeah, make it attempt, make a serious attempt to solve. गलत जाए कुछ pig Latin की जगह pig Latin मतलब ऐसा Latin जो सिर्फ गधे ही समझ सकते हैं, कोई नहीं समझ सकता है, वो गलत आंसर आ जाए, ठीक है, बट कोशिश करो ये पैटर्न को रिवाइज करने के लिए कम से कम एक वर्ड का तो हो जाना चाहिए, एंड देन यू हैव टू एक्सटेंड द लॉजिक फॉर ए सेंटेंस. मुश्किल नहीं, एक वर्ड का हो गया तो सेंटेंस का भी हो जाएगा. ओके, तो मैं आपको हिंट दे रहा हूँ. First do it for single word and then do it for sentence. It should return the entire string, pig Latin string. Okay. On that note, we'll stop here today. See you tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye. Tomorrow we'll look into other topic, that is function parameters. Yeah, function arguments. How in different ways we can pass arguments to the function. That is what we'll see tomorrow.